Hello, and welcome to the director's commentary for the first intro video for Alex and the Garbage Man. I always like to ease the audience into something new. That's why I used that slow fade in. The use of the TV static clips was to startle people. Sorry if it gave anyone a panic or a heart attack. I have no idea where I got that sound clip from. Probably better that I don't. It's kind of annoying. I put our faces in there as a kind of homage to the subliminal cuts used in The Exorcist. That was supposed to be scary. I echoed the clock ticking as a kind of hypnotic effect. It really juxtaposes the mishmash of visual horror we just saw there. Huge mistake. No stars behind that earth. I kinda hope we don't get big because some of the people in those clips won't see themselves in this video and sue us. If I'm remembered for anything, I hope it's screaming more opinions. I did 2 takes of yelling the title, but I've only used the other one once. Well, thanks for watching. Enjoy the show. The commentary no one asked for.
That was awesome. That was great, dude. Great job. That was
Hey,
excellent.
Chad. Thank you so much for the recommendation of 3 O'Clock High. I watched it a few days ago. Great movie. Loved it. I'm surprised I didn't watch it earlier in my life. I wish I would have. I know going to Video Encounter as a kid, I had seen that poster before. Never got around to watching it. So thank you so much. This is fantastic. You want more director commentaries for intro videos?
That was great, dude. That was great work. Great work. Hello, Mr. Garner. Hello, Ryan.
Hey, Mark.
My hetero life mate Chadney and butt blaster Brody back up in camp.
And thank you to Quinn on Facebook for giving us a like.
So we're gonna start hot. I don't know hot, but
oh yeah.
So hot. Jimmy baby, dude, huh? So I'm back on the Joe Rogan train, giggity. And today he had, or not today, a couple days ago, he had Matt Walsh on his show. And I'm pretty sure most people know who Matt Walsh is, but for those of you who do not know, he is a right wing, and he even say that it's himself, it's right wing personality who he's very, very vocal about transgender and transgender rights in the light of that he doesn't think they should have them. To be blunt, I guess. Well, I don't know that he shouldn't have them, but his question has always been, and he's the famous guy. If you've ever seen the clips on YouTube, he's with a person, a female. I think it's a male transitioning to female. Person has long hair and a beard, and he keeps looking at this person saying, "What is a woman? What is the definition? Like, what is your definition of a woman?" Okay, and that's where I was going. Thanks for jumping the shark, you fuckhead. But that's what I was gonna say. How Joe Rogan is like our alpha leader in that he like he thinks the same way me and Alex think. We discussed this before we came on air. Sort in some ways, in these ways he does. We've always, well, I'll speak for myself for sure, and I think, and Alex does not like say yes if you agree. We have always said that you be you. You do what makes you happy. Be yourselves. But
hey, why don't you do that on your own show, huh?
Oh. So he decided. So people under the age of like 12 or whatever, like these people should not be getting. They can't decide. They can't go to war. They can't vote. They technically can't get a tattoo. But yet these children can decide what gender they want to be. We've always disagreed with that. When you're an adult and your brain is developed and you do you, I have no problem with that. I really don't. And that was where I was going with this whole the gay marriage thing was, and that's just it. I don't care who wants to marry who, but yeah, fuck yeah. And I recommend anyone to listen to that show. Joe Rogan does it perfect. He's staunch and believes that, children should not be getting these surgeries and blah, 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 but then owns and literally owns Matt Walsh about the gay marriage thing. It was great. It was great. Yeah, and Jamie easily disproved. He said something about 1 million of these kids have had the drugs put into them, and Jamie's like, yeah, no, it's like 4,000 in the last 4 years. So, he did disprove that, but I think it was a very interesting listen to hear, like, the way and these two had a debate back and forth. They did not agree. No one yelled. No one said, well, you're a racist or a fascist or whatever fucking the buzzword is for this week to call someone when you don't like what they're saying. So I would recommend anyone to go listen to this podcast. And yes, he just had a documentary come out called What is a Woman? And apparently it's getting some pretty rave reviews on the content of it.
Well, it's been a minute, as the kids like to use nowadays. Their vernacular is a minute, meaning a long time, since I listened to Joe Rogan. I definitely heard Matt Walsh before because I listened to the Friendly Atheist podcast, and they talk about all manner of right-wing nut jobs and religious nut jobs and the mix in between. And, what is a woman? Well, how are we defining that in parameter terms? Like, are we going into the scientific? Are we going into the social? How are we going about defining what this gender construct is that we in this day and age call a woman, which some people call themselves? I don't have enough perspective to be able to wade into such a debate, but that's why it's great that Joe will have a platform where he will invite people like Matt on, so they can have these discussions. And if they don't get to the bottom of anything, at least we get somewhat of an understanding, not only of these two people's perspectives on the matter, but maybe on the matter as a whole, or at least just an idea. Now, with regards to, is there an age at which it is acceptable to get that particular surgery? Well, my proposition, and Nick and I had talked about this before the show, my proposition is that if there is a minimum age at which people can consent, and it varies from state to state, and I think in Canada from province to province at least slightly, it's somewhere between 17, 18, 19, depending on where you go, then use that as the same age that people can get surgery. Because even if someone decides at the age of 13 or 14 they want to get the surgery, they, according to this law that exists in this hypothetical reality that I'm talking about, they can wait the required amount of time, 3, 4, 5 years, because they might change their mind, or because it's the United States, everything costs money, so they can save up the required amount of money, or at least start, and also do the research on how their life will change. So things can happen in time, things can change, people's minds can change over time, anything can change over time. So I'd be interested in listening to that podcast episode as well, although I don't have Stitcher, so maybe there are clips of it on the YouTube.
Well, I don't have Stitcher either. It was actually on Spotify, and Spotify is free.
Pardon me, I confused the two because they start with an S.
Yeah, so they're free. It is free, because that's how I listen to it. Because I don't have Spotify either. So, yeah.
Yeah, pandering to religious. Yeah, that's where I would depart from giving Matt any more publicity or attention, because I don't want to pander to religious fanatics either.
Yeah, and you mean, don't pander, but don't look at it as pandering. Look at it as giving equal time to listen to arguments. These are the things we always talk about. There's enough people who give facts and arguments, right? You know?
Brody's the first portion of that first sentence, the decision should be left to the parents because the parents are the legal guardians and they do have the legal autonomy over their kid until that certain age, which is probably 18. If they want to start at 12, yeah. Again, they've got 6 years to think about it and prepare for it. And then on their 18th birthday, they go in, they pay the money, they get the surgery, boom. Awesome. Freedom has been retained.
Here's the problem that I have with this, and that is, and because parents nowadays, my job as a father, I feel my job as a father, and any parent is we're supposed to lead our children to better ideas. Like, hey, this might not be good. Maybe you should sit on it and wait a little bit. And I am taking this right from the Rogan podcast with what Matt Walsh said, where Dwight Howard has a child who is transgender, and I can't remember which way they're going or which way they went. But when asked about his parenting style, he said, "Well, I'm just there for them for the journey and let them choose what they want to do." Well, no, that's not your job as a parent. Your job as a parent is to point them in a direction and guide them. That's the whole thing of being a parent, is to guide your child. Because if people could just decide what they wanted to do all the time, holy fuck, could you imagine the world we would be in? Right?
But there's I'll jump in momentarily now. I realize this may throw you off of what you were talking about, but it's a little bit more subtle and nuanced than that, I think. And not speaking as a parent to a parent, I'm completely wrong in what I'm about to say. That yes, you are to guide them somewhat, but in that guiding, you realize you're putting in your own ideas and your own biases and saying this is what you should do when their ideas may be at diametric opposites. So then you have a debate in that, but then you two learn about each other and your position. So then what happens when you completely disagree on something? Do you as a parent stamp down and say you will do it my way, or fine, you do it your way, or is there some kind of flexibility in between?
I think there needs to be some flexibility, most definitely. You have to look at it and go, okay, well, like when it comes to this issue for me, if Colin had come to me and said this to me, I'd say, listen, son, you need to mature a little more. Listen, buddy, like, because this is a big decision. These are things like there are children who are getting these surgeries done who they're not going to be able to have children later because it's taking out sure, right now, like a kid is going to say, well, I don't want to have kids. Well, what happens 5 years from now when they go, oh shit, now I want kids. I want to have my own children, not adoption. I wanted to have my own children. These are huge, huge things to take into consideration. Okay, so now that's the age thing has been mentioned. Okay, age thing has been mentioned. Now, I do not agree with this whatsoever. But so on the same token, then, if this young child decides this, let's say this child at 15 years old says, hey, I met this 35-year-old man, I want to marry him. Well, how can you say it's all right for them to decide it's okay to decide their gender, but they can't decide they want to be with this 35-year-old man? Because, well, if they're well, you don't know if it'll work out. What if they're in years? What happens if you decide? Now this would be, I could hear the argument. What if you decide and you fall out of love? Or okay, well, what if they decide later on the road, man, I really wish I hadn't transitioned. Nothing? No.
Well, I thought you were going to go on, or I thought you were stumped by what Brody.
No, I was said. No. I don't know what a strongman argument is, but what is a strongman? I do not know what that means, so I will ask, what does it mean?
The strawman argument is taking what you have said, and I don't think I'm correct on this, and trying to turn it into something else so you can easily knock it down. That's the stupid definition of it. I'm sure someone will pull up an actual good definition somewhere on the internet. Brody in particular, maybe. And I had said this before the show as well. The not the science has been settled, but the legal dust has settled on minimum age of consent. So 15-year-old at that point can't be with a 35-year-old because they're under the age of consent. Again, depending on what province or state or county or what have you they're in. So once they reach that age of consent, then they can make their own autonomous decision on whether or not to be with that 35-year-old. And I would say in a perfectly harmonious reality in which we will never exist, in the United States, the age of consent to go to war, to drink, all that fun stuff would be at the same age to have the surgery, 18, 19, 20, something like that. That legal dust would be settled at that point.
I guess, yeah. So then brings up the next point I had, which the message I messaged you, Alex, was it's funny, not funny. It's weird how in this society, like if we were on here on this show and we were going on like, no, they're not allowed to do it, and they all need to be like lobotomized and whatnot, because it's like we were really hard. Just saying, if we were really harsh about what would happen to someone who feels this way and that they should be, dealt with as a swift manner, we could lose our jobs. We could, a whole bunch of stuff could happen, right? But yet you take the argument to other places, like you could say to someone, I'm an atheist. And that's the end of the argument. Oh, okay, well, but that's the end of the argument. It's funny how this here, the transgender argument is such a huge red button. There's so many other things in the world you can just say, like I said, I'm an atheist. I'm an agnostic. Oh, okay, well, why? And someone might ask why. And someone can go, oh, okay, well, like all the war, famine, I've said on here before, how many people have died in the name of religion, and that'd be the end of the argument. But yet the transgender argument is just, it's so much bigger. You say, and that's the thing is, you can sit there and say, I'm not religious. It's okay. It seems to be okay. But if you're like, yeah, I'm not okay with what they're doing, you're a piece of shit. You're a bigot. You're a fascist. Again, I have not seen the documentary. I'm going to just quoting on what Matt Walsh said on his show during the documentary. They were at a university and they had someone who was reversing, going back to be a female. And she was described, she was 16 when she had the procedures done, like had her breasts removed and whatnot. At 18 now, she wants to go back to being a female. There were people in the crowd yelling at her that screaming at her she's a fascist. How is that a fascist? As someone that has decided she doesn't want to do this anymore and is going just telling her story about what has happened. That's the thing. There's no argument to it. That's your argument, is that you're a fascist because she's not continuing her transgender transformation. I don't know how else to say it. That she's a fascist. The people need a fucking thesaurus. Because that is not a fascist is like, and this is the fucking Reader's Digest version, is basically, I think, bullying someone into fucking, if you don't like what they're saying, screaming and yelling at them to make them change their minds. So you yelling a fascist at someone who's trying to tell her story, you're being the fascist. In a roundabout way. But now I got to read what everyone said here.
Hello, Frank.
Hi, Frankie.
Oh. Frank's got a point in that if it's the topic of the day, then people will glom onto that in, well, how does this affect me? What do I think about it? What would I do in that situation? And sometimes they do make bad decisions because they don't know the entirety of the discussion and the definitions and so on behind it. So then they're not, again, making the informed decision because they don't have all the facts.
I'm looking up something here, so keep talking.
Your views on religion. Yes, your views on religion only affect. Well, it depends. Your views on religion, if you keep your views to yourself, yes, they only affect you. But if you go out into the world and you're talking to religious people and you're telling them that you're anti-religious, even if it's conversation or confrontational, it will not only affect you, it will affect other people who may in turn affect you in a physical sense. Usually not, but sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the big thing, Ryan. Like you said, I'd like to transport these people to 1930s Germany and then get back to us on what fascism and racism and all that stuff like really is.
Yes.
Get back to us.
And then you'll find out who is literally Hitler, because you'll be in 1930s Germany and you will encounter literally Hitler.
Literally. Okay, so
yeah, that's kind of a problem, Brian. I think that the parents who are saying, "Oh, you're indoctrinating my child because your school has a safe space," those parents are, I want to say, very religious, because they are completely against the woke, and they themselves call it woke agenda or the gay agenda. So those particular parents are, not crazy, but they're very vocal in their beliefs, and they're very, sure, I'll use these words, offended and triggered when these open ideas, safe spaces, etc., invade their purview. So then they lash out, sometimes physically, mostly vocally, online or in person.
See, and I believe that's a miscondument. I don't know if I said that wrong. That's something I think needs to be separated in this argument. And a lot of people, I know two for sure, gay people, they need to separate this whole argument with transgender and binary and all these with the gay movement. Because I have gay friends. My baby mama is married to a woman, and they've made it very clear that they don't like being lumped in with that, because that's not their fight. They wanted to have the right to be married and to live happy, and and they have that.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you shouldn't fight the good fight, but a lot of and I know it's from they've told me there's quite a few people in that community now who are feel that their movement has been hijacked. Right. Yeah. And I can see how that's happened. I mean, we've seen the left eat themselves. I mean, if you remember back when Donald Trump was elected, do you remember when they had the march with the women's rights, but then the blacks got mad because there was something with something was the minorities started fighting with each other over the marches.
Oh yeah, who was to have the attention?
You remember that, right? Because it was something with they grabbed them by the peas, and then these people were mad, and because it was just you guys are eating yourselves alive. Yeah. You guys are arguing within yourselves when you should be standing it's just holy crap.
Yeah, there are too many mini factions and branches within the political left. I mean, it has splintered to the point where if you don't agree on every single thing, let's say there are 100 points that you must agree on in order to be a feminist. If you agree on 98, then you're automatically out of what the feminist group would deem a real feminist. So then you have a splinter group of proto-feminists or alternate feminists or whatever you want to call it. That's how much not only left, but it's happened on the right too, and especially when it comes to the religious right.
Yeah, which again, I always find it funny when it comes to religion. It's hey, you don't believe in the same invisible God I do, and holy fuck, guy,
or if you do, the interpretation of the Bible will differ, because if you're not a Baptist or a Pentecostal, if you're a Catholic, or what kind of Christian, I mean, there are just multiple branches that spring forth from that.
It looks like the bottom of a tree root, just the way it goes. And I'm just going to speak for myself right now, and then you tell me what you think. But if somebody were to say to me, if you could do that time machine that Ryan has, that we go back and we see the person who was Jesus, let's just get it dumbed down to say there was a Jesus. What is the message? And he just basically says, love one another.
That's it.
Peace out. Love one another. Get along. Just love one another. I'd be like, wow, and that maybe that's those rudimentary as it started was just love one another. Just love one another. Love it and love yourself.
To love oneself is to know oneself as well and be comfortable with oneself.
I mean, I bust jokes about myself all the time, from the fucking Terminator leg to being fat to talking too much to being too loud. But I love myself. I do. I strongly believe that I do. But like in this world that's so crazy, you got to start there. Love yourself. And then once I think you feel good that you love yourself and you be able to branch out and not try, and it's taken me a long time to get here. A long time. Not to be mad at people and not to spew venom all the time. It's taken a long time to get there. But I implore people to try to get to that sooner, because you feel so much better. You really do.
Yeah, less stress, definitely.
Oh, my goodness. And it is, and it's a job. I mean, I love my job. I love the people that I work with. That helps a lot. I know not everyone has that option. I surround myself with awesome people. I have great people in my life. You know, what's wrong with being in love with a prostitute, Brody? There's nothing wrong with that. Well, and now we'll go back to then we'll go back to the religious thing. Now is like, that's the biggest thing from the church was let go of your worldly possessions.
Yeah. And
meanwhile, the Pope's sitting on a fucking throne made of gold. Bye, Alex. All by myself. So I didn't even get a message. What's going on? Gotta be all by myself.
Nope. You said the Pope and it triggered me, so I was out. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You remember when you quit on me and Brody? That's it. You said it. I'm out.
Thanks to Mike and Sean. They left us likes on Facebook as well. At one point, we had 14 watchers, and that was a lot from your Facebooks. So thank you both very much for that.
So Mikey is a friend in Medicine Hat. We actually, when I first came to Alberta, we worked together at BJ Services. Awesome guy, Chicago Bears fan, works for Shaw now. He actually sent me in the summer. He says his stepdaughter is starting to sing, and sent me some videos. She's got a wonderful voice, and I hope she follows it, because she's And Sean Evans, that's Turbo, fellow Ginger, manager of Co-op, pretty cool shit.
Nice.
He's a Penguins fan, but we won't hold that against him. So. So, I'm kind of circling around here to go back to this whole transgender thing. I don't know how to read this, and then this becomes the problem. Is what do I click on to get information about how many people regret transitioning? That I don't know, because there's just so many, and you don't know. And I know I could click on one, they'd be like, oh, well, that is a right-wing Baptist website, and that's why so it's like, I don't even. Hey, you laugh, my friend, but BJ Services brought me into your life, butt blaster, Brody. You don't ever forget that. That works at so many levels.
Everyone starts somewhere.
Yeah, and some of us just had to start with a BJ. So, anyways, that was a good fucking half an hour. Good Lord.
Yes.
Okay, what else have we got on the agenda?
I had a bunch of news stories just lying around.
All right.
At least 2 or 3 of them that are kind of bordering on clickbait titles. And when I clicked on them, I immediately went to the comments section. I'm talking immediately.
Yeah.
Oh, because of, how in this day and age, people are trying to get attention and clicks however they want. Yep. So, and it's been a happy ending.
That was good. See, we wrapped that up very nicely. Okay, anyways, clickbait. Sorry, focus. We're talking about BJ's again. I lost it.
I'll pull one up for you. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, now we're talking about BJ's again. Oh, sorry.
So did you know?
No, I didn't.
About 2 weeks ago, the Dead Kennedys drummer D.H. Peligro died at the age of 63.
Fuck, no, I didn't.
He was the drummer for the Red Hot Chili Peppers for a very short time, I think back in 1988.
So he was probably the first then.
He was the second. I think he was the second.
Oh, okay.
He in 1988 he took over from the Red Hot Chili Peppers' first drummer, Jack Irons.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So the title of the article is Red Hot Chili Peppers drummer 63 dies from head trauma after falling at home. Seems innocuous enough.
Mm-hmm.
But I clicked on the comments first thing. And the first comment is from someone named Amanda Vollmer. She is a holistic doctor in Toronto.
Okay.
And her comment starts off with, the MSM can never be honest. These people are dying from their shots, leading to fainting, hitting their heads, falling down the stairs, getting into car crashes, etc. They can lie all they want. We, the people, know what is happening. So it doesn't matter how a person meets their end in this post-COVID world. It's always going to be, was it the shot? Did they get the shot? Could it have been the shot? It was the shot. Maybe it was the shot. Oh, it was the shot, and the mainstream media is covering it up. So I read the article, and he died from trauma to his head from an accidental fall. And that's as far as it goes into it with regards to how he died. And I don't think it says anything else about if he got the vax or how the accident happened. But he fell down and he died. But nope, it had to have been the vax. So again, it's continuing, it's pervasive. For me, it's become a source of entertainment to click on an article, go to the comments and see who is saying it must have been the vaccine.
I usually just list. I like to go just to read comments and see how fucking angry people get over stupid shit.
Yes. Yeah, the fact, I think she is a holistic doctor. She got her doctorate in, I think, the year 2000.
Oh.
I'm glad I didn't get the shot. I surely would have been hit by a car. Wow, I got to see how that situation would have panned out. So you go into the doctor's office or the drug mart or superstore and you get the shot. And as you're coming out, you're walking around in the parking lot and you get hit by someone who is not paying attention to driving. They're most likely on their phone, as some people are in this day and age. So in that particular case, yes, because if you didn't go to the superstore or the drug mart or wherever it was you got the shot, you wouldn't have been hit by the car. But it's not like you get the shot and then out of nowhere, just like the Kool-Aid man bursting through the wall, this car comes out of nowhere and just runs you down. That's not how that happens. It's a good joke, though. I appreciate that, Gordon. A doctor, yeah. Wow. But holistic, when it's under the umbrella of holistic, it's all the same.
So
it's all the same.
No, being that it's hello, really. Oh, shit myself. So with these holistic doctors, is this kind of like how Reverend Ryan got ordained back in like 2000 just to say he was a minister? Like he went online and became like a minister and got ordained. Can you do that with holistics? Is that how that works?
I'll look it up. I think she actually went to University of Toronto. Take me about 10 seconds to find out.
Take me out. Down, 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 down.
Okay, so according to one of her websites, which is yummy.doctor.
I just, okay, that's where yummy doctor. All right, go. Are you sure you didn't click X video or Pornhub instead?
She holds a Bachelor of Science in Agricultural Biotechnology from the University of Lethbridge from the year 2000 in Alberta, Canada, and a Doctor of Naturopathic Medicine diploma from the Canadian College of Naturopathic Medicine in Toronto.
Wow.
So I think she actually went to places.
Okay. Sure.
2 years, and I think you're a holistic doctor. So if from day one to year 2 you tell everyone I'm a holistic doctor and you do nothing else, then by Ryan's metric you are a holistic doctor. You just say it. Thor Ackman. Oh man, I don't think I saw that one.
I'm not that big of a Seinfeld guy. I hate to say it. So,
It was a good show though. Carrie Lake. Who is Carrie Lake?
Who's Carrie Lake?
Let's get the skinny on Carrie Lake. Oh,
I know Ricky Lake. Ricky Lake had a great show in the 90s. Do 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 do.
She is an American politician and former television news anchor. And I think she got defeated by Katie Hobbs, according to MSNBC. Oh, for governor of Arizona. So maybe Carrie Lake is one of those crazy people. I can't remember
crazy as our green lady, can she?
Oh, maybe.
Maybe she was an election denier running for governor.
An election denier. I deny that there's an election, and I'm going to participate in said election.
That didn't happen, but allow me to run for election. Election. Erection. Back to BJ's. We're full circle.
Cuckoo. That's the full circle. The full circle is cuckoo.
Cuckoo. Hey, Butt Blaster Brody, did you see my Owen Hart? So I bought this. I asked permission to buy it. There are there's Owen Hart figures, but there's nothing from the WWE, of course, because they killed Owen Hart. So AEW got in contact with Martha Hart, Owen's wife, and his children, and they put out a limited edition King of Hearts Owen Hart from the Calgary Stampede, like the Stampede territory in Calgary. So this all goes to the Owen Hart Foundation. So there's the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, cost me a pretty penny, but I usually don't buy figures. I'm not a big figure guy, but I was a huge Owen Hart fan, so. Excellent. Yeah.
And you get an aneurysm or you have myocarditis, which is hilarious because I pulled another story from, and I think he's an Indian actor. He died at the age of 46 while training in the gym. And this story is as of yesterday at 4:17 a.m. So the claim that I've seen some people make online that young people are dying in droves and no one knows why. Well, SADS, which is sudden adult death syndrome, is not a new thing. It's existed for many years. And this idea that many young people are dying of heart attacks, you could add this to it. But then again, the story doesn't say if he had the vaccine or not. And it's simply the people commenting, again, they're jumping to the conclusion, they're pole vaulting to the conclusion that it must have been the vaccine. And they have no evidence except for saying it because that's what they want to believe.
So sorry, I'm just making sure I read this right. Okay. So, and I'm just going to pull an old, my mind went right here. And it goes back to whether he stole this bit or not to Dennis Leary. Talking about Jim Fixx.
Yeah. You're talking about old Bill Hicks, eh?
Yeah. So, no, Jim Fixx or Bill Hicks. What was that? Was that a Bill Hicks joke? The Jim Fixx line?
I think Dennis Leary originated the Jim Fixx thing, but I could be wrong.
But either way, Jim Fixx was a guy who jogged. He wrote books on jogging, was an extremely healthy jogger, blah, 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 blah. Died died of a heart attack while fucking jogging. Sometimes it's just your fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, and this was back in '84. So, did he have the shot? Oh, so what happened, bro, was somebody got in a time machine and went and gave him the COVID shot. And then when he was jogging, oh, that's it's a conspiracy, man.
Yeah. Unless a person who makes the claim that someone died from the jab is a doctor, or more specifically a mortician, someone who is determining cause of death, then you pretty much got no right and no credence to say, oh, they died from the shot. Why should we believe your claim?
Yeah.
Like, I've had 2, you've had 2 shots, and we're not dead. Then again, the people who make the claim that people are dying from the shot, it's been said that it's going to start kicking in between 2 and 5 years after the shot. So again, I've said this before, starting in January, we should start seeing a whole lot of people die from myocarditis or heart-related problems, starting in January and going to January of 2026, because that's the 2 to 5 year mark. Good question, Brody. And that's for you, Frank. I would think, Frank, because Frank had said, how is it that the state of New York has 3 times the amount of voters of Arizona and managed to count all the votes in one night, while Arizona needs almost a week? I'm thinking that there were multiple recounts in Arizona, and New York probably not. I'm not sure, though. That's for you. You're an American. You should know this stuff. Just like you should know how to handle a gun and hit on your relatives. No, I'm kidding. All the stereotypes, just lump them in. Yes, I remember from Cure for Cancer. Yes.
So, and I like Dennis Leary, Frank, but I always got to preface by saying, now, is this one that he apparently stole from Bill Hicks, or was this one of his own? So that's why I always say that. I couldn't remember which bit it was from. So
there is at least one video, if not 2 or 3, comparing the 2 materials from stand-ups from Dennis Leary and Bill Hicks.
Yeah.
And of course, Hicks said it first.
Of course, yeah.
Prior to Dennis Leary's 1993 No Cure for Cancer stand-up.
Hey, Frankie, I'll back you up just because I'm back on Facebook. Ground beef and ground hamburger meat and rice is a good meal. I like it. A little bit of seasoning on there. It's pretty good stuff. I don't mind it. So I got your back, Jack.
Like ground beef and rice mixed together?
Yeah. I've had it before. I think it's good.
Hello, Jolene. How you doing?
Jolene.
You did that on some episode, I don't know, 10 or 15 back. I clipped it and I sent it to her as a ringtone. I don't know if she ever used it.
She's probably like, ew, gross, the fat guy. They're still counting in New York, what, all the assholes in the room? Because I'm definitely not alone. I'm not alone. With a bit of Volbeat. So, all right, got any more clickbait stories or what? You said you had a few to clear up, so.
Yes. Okay, so the Indian actor I was talking about, Siddhanth Suryavanshi, dies while working out in gym. So I go to the comments immediately. The first comment is from a person named Joe Mama, and his comment is safe and effective. And that's it. And the next comment from Margaret Prevost, the vax is causing these problems. Julia B says, vax status, please. Janice Sharp says, so they tell people this is happening all over the world to fit young and healthy people dying from cardiac arrest, but leave it all a mystery. The elephant in the room, may Yah have mercy on your souls. Tell the truth about why. No, she didn't use, oh, come on. I went through all that trouble to find that clip, to cut it for you, and you didn't use it. Come on, man.
So this guy, but here's the thing. I mean, he's not all jacked to the gills. He looks like he's in really pretty decent shape. Do we know what he was taking? Was he a former drug user? We don't know all the other things that, could be contributing to this man's health. We don't know. But like I like how the mind is right to the stab. Can you imagine living in that fucking world? Ugh. Like in that, just your brain is like, oh, what about this? And like, fuck.
Yeah. It's got to be. It's so simple to say that the jab is causing all these problems instead of looking at underlying health problems that can build up over time. But again, to Gordon's credit, with asbestos, after being proven safe by many government regulatory bodies, takes 20 years on average, 20 to 40, to cause you problems. So it remains to be seen. But that does not mean that if a person dies, it must have been because of the vaccine. That can't be said. I mean, again, unless you are a mortician or someone doing the autopsy, speaking of which, where's Big Red, they would know. They would know for sure because they would be looking for these clues.
Yep. Hey, yo,
Yep.
man, we just get our shit done here. Frankie, what's up? Bada boom, vote's done.
Send Frank from Ohio to Arizona to finish the count. He'd walk in with his crew. You guys are going to finish this right about now. And if you don't, I got the old slugger that's going to tell you different. Oh!
Oh!
Oh, this is the Pandora's box that was opened in 2020 and will now never close, because if your candidate doesn't win, you automatically accuse the other side of rigging the vote and cheating and what have you. And that's going to go on indefinitely. Family history too, Jolene. Yes.
And that's what's going to fucking happen now. Right? Like that's everything's going to fucking be now. Is, oh, it's not real. Like this is, they've started something now that's never going to stop.
Yep.
Every single vote is just going to be fought over and bitched at. Like, fuck.
Yeah. Especially by people who are not in the know of how elections work and how vote counting is done. I myself don't know. So who am I to criticize how it's done and by who? And who am I to say, well, they're cheating? How do I know? Just because my candidate didn't win? Yeah. Why be a sore loser?
Because that's the way of the world now.
Yeah. Oh, now I would like to see a gentlemanly dispute between Riley and Gordon, because Gordon had said, where are his words? His words are here. They're here somewhere. After being proven safe by many government regulatory bodies. Okay, so the onus is on Gordon to show what government regulatory bodies said that asbestos was, quote, proven safe, but also it is upon Riley to prove his claim that they, meaning government regulatory bodies, just covered up the harm that asbestos caused. So I don't know how much longer we're going on, but the faster you two can type and get in your gentlemanly jabs, the sooner we can clear this up and find out what actually happened. Either that, or we all go do our own research with regards to asbestos. No, we'll just let you guys do it, and we'll take your word for it. That's how we do it in this day and age.
So I'm wondering, when it comes to the asbestos argument, when that comes up, I always, whenever I hear any argument or discussion about things like this, I always go to the Fight Club, when like Edward Norton, or the narrator's job was, when there was an accident, was to go see what that accident cost, how often it could happen, and then find how much it's going to cost. I wonder if that's how asbestos started. And they went, well, it's only a few people getting sick. Let's roll with it. And then all of a sudden they're going, oh shit, everybody's getting sick.
Well, Chad brings up a good point. It's safe as long as you don't make it go airborne, then you're fucked. The building I'm currently in was built in the 1950s. So in all likelihood, there is asbestos in the walls. Now, as long as I don't make holes in the walls or nail anything up, then the asbestos is not going to get into the air. That's my elementary understanding of it, and I could be completely wrong.
Yeah. There's
this handy thing called the internet. No.
What?
And It's interesting that each state uses a different procedure to count their votes. Why? But then again, autonomy of the state, states' rights, blah, 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 blah. They have found a correlation between the vaccine in kids and the rise of myocarditis, but not necessarily a causality. Causality does not equal causation. A equals B, B equals C, therefore A equals C. Well, not necessarily true in all cases.
Because that's the thing. You got to take variables in. What kind of living conditions? What kind of diet do these kids have? What are their parents smokers / vapors? You got to. There's lots of different things that can be factored into what a kid's health could be. I guarantee you, if you had taken, well, you can't take me because I smoked, but take Alex's lungs. I'd be, not that I want you to die, buddy. I'd be curious. I'm sure your lungs have regenerated now, but let's say after you moved out of mom and dad's house, like how black your lungs were then compared to like how probably pink they are now. Because I think the lungs regenerate, don't they?
That's what's said, that eventually they go back to pre smoke exposure levels.
So I'd be curious to see like what yours would look like. You know?
Yeah, but then again, there would have had to have been testing done, and there are, I think, I'm just guessing at this point, there are multiple methods of doing that kind of test, just as with anything else. So who's to say that one method of testing is the method? What if another method does slightly better and the percentage points are minuscule, but there? It is interesting that you can't sue Moderna or Pfizer for any side effects experienced after the shot. Then again, who's to say if you weren't going to experience side effects anyway? Cite your sources, drink. Oh, maybe that should be a reason for drinking whenever someone says cite your source.
Yeah.
But then again,
I'm watching a dumb wrestling video. Continue.
Just because a person starts showing health problems after the vaccine does not mean it's because of the vaccine. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. The human body is not a cut and dry thing. It takes a whole lot of going back. In some cases, yes. In some cases, no. Who denied the 2000 election? The Democrats, because they wanted Al Gore to win. Who denied the 2016? Well, it was Hillary versus Trump, so maybe it was the Democrats. I don't know. There was a whole lot of pushback on the 2016. Conservatives question specific things, and where election done? Yeah, it is on both sides, depending on who won and who lost.
Oh, it most definitely is. Without a doubt.
Yeah, I think long-term studies on the vaccine are probably being done right now. There were 3-month studies done in 2020 between, I think, August and November, or maybe it was September and November, on the Moderna and the Pfizer vaccine. But of course, 3 months is not enough.
No, not at all.
No. But then again,
go ahead.
If a person is going to submit to testing their body for any effects from the COVID vaccine, you have to have a full test done before the shot. Then you get the shot, and then you do another full test, and then you give it time. Maybe you get another shot, then you do another test, and you keep testing. But the testing methods have to be sound and have to show a whole lot in terms of health. I think my lungs are pink. Well, let's open you up and find out. Speaking of which, again, special effects in Terrifier 2, great. Good Lord, is that a gory movie? If you haven't seen it and you like gore, you should.
I'm not a big gore guy anymore. I'm really not. I'm not like I used to. And really, if I start, you go back and think about the movies we watched growing up, like they weren't overly. I mean, Nightmare had some, but like Texas Chainsaw, no. Jason, not really.
Not to the degree of today.
No. And yeah, I know I find sometimes like I think I got through Saw 4. I think it was. And then I was finally like, okay, I'm done. Like it's too far, too much gore for me. The older I get though, when I was younger, I used to didn't bother me at all.
That's the same with my girlfriend. She used to be able to watch movies like that, but now she looks away whenever there's something really gory on the screen. I'm sitting there just eating food, saying, looks good. I wonder how they did those special effects.
Like, yeah, I like what you did there. I like it. I like what you did there.
Yes, Gordon did mean onus, and the word didn't come to me, but I read it and I knew exactly what he meant. So thank you for clarifying, really. Election fraud definitely does exist on both sides. To what degree is debatable, and to what level? President, prime minister, that's kind of really big. Now, if we're talking local, mayor, councilman, ombudsman, possible. Small towns especially. Yes, you do need to see both Terrifier movies, Frank. If you're not weak of stomach, unlike my co-host here, then the first Terrifier movie, it's about an hour and a half. It's pretty good. There's one death scene. And I've said this before, that is reminiscent of, maybe even taken from Bone Tomahawk from 2015. That's S. Craig Zoller's first movie starring Kurt Russell. There are two deaths in each of those films that are really similar, where a person is hung upside down, and that's all I'm going to go into it. It's not graphic in Terrifier like it is in Bone Tomahawk, but yeah, I definitely think you should see the first one and then the second. I'm surprised that Tex didn't fill you in on the Terrifier movies. The very realistic gore of the... No, you want to see very realistic gore, Faces of Death.
Fuck.
I haven't seen those in years.
Yeah.
That is entirely possible. I myself had a cold last week before, didn't get tested. So it could have been a weaker version of the Rona. It could have been.
Oh, I'm a bastard. I'm an asshole. There was something crawling on my neck, and I just squished it and put it down. It was a ladybug.
Oh. Now we have to be canceled because of your cruelty to animals.
Right. Yes.
The Simpsons predict everything.
Oh, my crotch goblin's home.
Oh no. I've heard that 2020 was really closely scrutinized and very closely looked at. I've heard, so that means I did no research whatsoever to verify your claim or anyone else's claim.
Yeah, so fuck you, really?
Yeah.
Wait, was I supposed to say that? Okay, cool. Asbestos, asbestos shooting in the sky. Ah! Pluto block.
I'm looking, really. I'm not seeing your really long asbestos comment.
Yeah, me neither.
Maybe I'm an idiot. Oh, he has. Yeah, once you get settled in, then yeah, use your time wisely. There's a lot of trashy movies out there. I've probably seen most of them, but then again, I don't know what your movie tastes are exactly. If you want to trust me and throw a bunch of titles at me, I'll say, watch this one, don't watch that one, don't watch that one, watch this one. But then again, Tex is the horror master, so he will lead you down the right path. Oh, I should screenshot that.
Hi, other guy I don't know.
What time do you got to work in the morning?
To be at work by 6:15.
Ha
Why do you have
No, I'm the garbage man. I'll never have days off.
nails?
There's garbage to be picked. I'll be thinking about you while I'm sitting in my garbage truck tomorrow. Your mom wants you. Now close the door. I'm in the middle of something. Go away. Go eat your dinner. Shot.
Yeah, it's okay, Gordon. I know that any spelling or grammar mistakes do not detract from your main point. I'm smart enough to understand that much.
I don't want to sing. What am I, your fucking monkey? Fuck you, Chad.
Do it.
No, I'm not gonna.
Do it, Jolene. Jolene.
God. Do we have any Karen videos this week?
We do.
Yes. Wait. That just happened to be there, so I grabbed it.
So,
Dun, dun. Okay, I'll put it down.
So the reason I did the director's commentary intro is because the other intro I finally yesterday came up with in my head was going to take way too long, and I did not have the time. So I thought, what else can I do? Oh, director's commentary. So next week,
so good, dude. It really was.
So the bigger joke in that is that no one asked for that, no one wanted it, no one would ever do something like that. So our show is exactly that. Yeah. So
no one would care to see it, and we're just gonna fucking do it.
I didn't see that one really, that comment.
Oh, I didn't see that either. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. Yeah, I didn't see that either. Wow. So what you're saying is that we were on it.
Again, really, and Gordon, this is your platform to go back and forth on this, but we do have a show to go through. So
and I'm starting to get hangry. So
forgive us if we don't allow this to go on forever and ever. But we can always pick it up next week.
Ever.
You can always hot link articles and then bring them up next week, and then this will go on and on and on forever. And then eventually we'll forget why, and we'll move on to something else, like cheesies. I love cheesies. Yes.
Me too. Okay. Which ones? The Hawkins or the Puffies?
The which? The
Hawkins ones.
Yes, the Hawkins. Yes.
Yeah. Those are
yep. Those and nothing else.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why. I love them so much. Maybe I developed the taste as a kid, but I haven't had them in years. It's just like if you have a smoke or a drink when you haven't for years, you bite into a cheesy and all that flavor just comes rushing back, and all those good memories of being a young, innocent kid. And then you eat the entire bag and all of a sudden your hands are orange. You think, what have I done with my life? And then you stop eating them again for 6 months. Cooperation has buried in for corporations. Wrong. I'm right. You're wrong.
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 In the freezer? What?
Wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Cheesy's in the freezer? Wrong.
Wrong.
What's the science on that?
Wrong.
I believe your science is
wrong.
Okay, stop for a minute. The reason I brought up the intro video is because there's talk in Ontario about bringing back masks and mask mandates. So that's what the intro video is going to be. And because of that, the first Karen video that I'm going to share, and this is a very short one, this might harken back to 2020 or 2021. It's 30 seconds long. It's called Anti-Vax Karen Freakout Backfires. So this is what we have to look forward to if the mandates come back.
Woman of God, this is my right as much as it is yours. This is my land as much as it is yours. I did not sign up for this. I am a Christian woman of God, and you are not going to put your disgusting rules on me that are false and not true. I will not have it.
So false and not true. Let's all make that clear distinction. They are false and not true.
I believe that's what we call redundant. So
You understand that?
No.
I will not have it. I'm sick of being bullied. I'm sick of being lied to, and it's not going to happen anymore. Do you understand? The CDC just released. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
like her husband just must want to slit his wrists. Can you imagine listening to that every fucking night?
Enhanced cheese flavor. It's true. It's damn true. Well, I don't know about that. You know what? I'm willing to give it a try. You were right on 3 O'Clock High. And really, if you have not seen the 1987 movie 3 O'Clock High, you should. But then again, I think you have, because you're that kind of guy. You've seen
Wrong.
a lot. See, when the shoe's on the other foot and I don't have control of that, I'm just on my toes the entire time.
Okay, good, clear. Okay. Oh, it's exhausting. It's just, and I'll make it very clear. If I had to wear a mask again, I really don't care. I don't want anything to be shut down again, but I have no problem wearing a mask. My Jesus says, I do not need to listen to you, motherfucker. Whatever. I'm recording you on my iPhone. Whatever.
Really, yeah, it's supposed to be about love and acceptance, but it depends again on what branch you fall under. And sometimes your religious beliefs are determined by not only where you are born, but when you are born.
Right. All right, what's next?
No, I don't think people should listen to Alex Jones unless it's for entertainment purposes. I recommend the podcast Knowledge Fight. Go to knowledgefight.com.
Fucking gay.
Yeah. Steve Bannon. I don't want to talk about Steve Bannon. I don't know much about him, but I have no interest in ever mentioning that guy ever again.
The frogs are gay and I'm fucking hungry.
How about dressing up as a Karen for Halloween?
Get this camera out of my face. I cannot. Don't you get it out.
That is awesome.
No, get it out. I have several complaints, and this is already one of them. Do you understand me? None of these houses are festival. Deserve to be recorded. We had one child laugh at us, and now you're going to put this camera in our face. I am appalled. We are done by with this neighborhood. Disrespect. We are done. What is wrong with you? Goodbye. We are done.
Goodbye.
Think of the children.
Get on out.
Think of the children.
They win fucking Halloween. That is the fucking best ever. Wow.
Yes.
That was amazing. Kids should take notes on that.
And I'm going to show you a screenshot from a news article. Shouldn't take that long to upload. Okay. City of Prosser takes down Karen-themed Halloween display after community backlash. City of Prosser in Washington. After residents found it offensive. I wonder which residents.
You're not reading it in your news voice.
I don't need to. I sound enough like a news person as I currently am without
the
having
city
to put
Prosser took down the Karen themed Halloween display at City Hall after residents found it offensive. Oh, really? Yeah. They were fucking joking around. You fucking old man. Christ.
Yes, because people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and her religious ilk want America to become a Christian nation, which means America won't be free because it will have a government mandated religion, which will be Christianity if they get their way. So freedom and religion do not exist. They do not coalesce together. Knowledge Fight is awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. They do. They deserve so much of the candy. Again, it's just a joke, but they got it so on the nose. It's awesome. Yes. Yeah, I bet the residents who found it offensive were Karens and like, oh my God. And of course, the husbands are dragged along as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if there's one thing Ryan will be known for, it's his Halloween costume as Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. And there's no photographic evidence of it at all. No one can prove it. Not even him. Oh, wait a minute. Didn't he? Didn't he get a picture of it?
There's a picture of it. I don't know where the picture is, but there is a picture. I don't know where the fuck it is.
Oh.
Oh, but fuck. Like, and it wouldn't be anything that we have. Anyone have their yearbooks?
I don't think it would be in there.
I bet you it might be.
I have my yearbooks.
Start digging. It might be in a yearbook.
Okay, I'll look in the yearbooks from grade 10 onward. I'm pretty sure someone took a picture. But
I remember seeing a picture.
It wasn't in the yearbook. I swear it wasn't. But we'll see. Next week I'll find it. Max, jeez.
Oh, Max. Now I'm hungry. Kate, wrap it up, bitch.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, this was great. This was fun.
Yeah, we had 14 people at one time. That was awesome.
Yes,
That's great
and
for us.
I think it was 6 from your Facebook, 6 from YouTube, and 2 from my Facebook, which is great. I mean, I don't know that we've had that many maybe once before. But I'm pretty sure in the past, if we've had that many views, it was some bots, perhaps.
Yes.
Yes, they allowed him into the school because at the time it was funny. Have the yearbook here? Okay, all right. So someone took a picture and it's in someone's private collection. I'm not willing to pay money for it. I'm just saying it's out there.
Right.
Yeah. Well, let's look at some differences between Monica Lewinsky and Janine Lindemulder. There might be a cash transaction in there somewhere.
Yep. I can get behind that.
Yes, you did borrow it from the drama class. Yes. Yeah. And you know what? I think it's time. I think it's time that because we have all the power, we should be the brunt of the joke for a while. I don't see any problem with that. For a while, not forever. Right. 90s were awesome. Yes, they were, Chad. You and Jeremy would agree, but Frank would disagree and say that the 80s were better. What is your Facebook under? Huh?
Whose?
Who
Kind
said
of top
anything
secret
about
information.
Facebook? I'm looking back. No one said anything about a Facebook. Then again, we don't have a Facebook page. Alex and the Garbage Man does not have a Facebook page. We like to keep it simple. Well, mainly because I don't want to have umpteen amounts of usernames and passwords.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, that's why I don't have a Patreon account. Or an OnlyFans. Define paying. Money. As in paying hookers. Yes. Okay. All right. That's enough. We're going. Thank you all so much for being here. Thanks to Gordon, Riley, Quinn, Mark, Chad, Ryan, Brody, and our good mafia friend Frank. Check out The Harsh Truth on Thursdays for all the current entertainment news. And maybe Reverend Ryan will do a stream one of these days. He hasn't done one in a long time. Make a donation to your local old folks' home. Chad would surely appreciate the pudding. Clinton defining thing. Okay, I got you. I'm running out of steam. That's why I couldn't come up with anything.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week with an overly produced and way too thoughtful intro video that Nick is going to say, huh, and then move on from there. It's not going to get any claps. No one's going to say it was great. But I think it's great, damn it. It's still real to me, damn it. Do you ever see that guy?
Yes.
That wrestling guy? Yeah. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
All right. I can't wait. Good night, Ryan. Good night, everybody. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.